After 20 years, Panic Room may have left our consciousness, but its substance still remains intact.
Canada be damned. I'm going to the Klondike.
The Klondike is Canada.
Giorgio, you be doing just fine, brother.
They say time will tell, as the saying goes. Yet I can't tell what time has to say about Panic Room. From what I can gather, the only thing people seem to remember about this early aughts thriller is that it's a David Fincher movie, and it's towards the bottom of their list of Fincher films. Now, that's subjective, and I'm not here to argue otherwise. However, I think there are elements to Panic Room which are sadly overlooked. Before we go there, let's not overlook what Panic Room is about. Panic Room begins with recently divorced Meg, who's given a house tour alongside her daughter Sarah. Meg jumps at the opportunity, buys the house, and upon their first night there, are visited by 3 vastly different burglars. It's unclear what the burglars are after, but we know it's in a safe within the house Panic Room. Unfortunately for our burglars, Meg and Sarah retreat into the Panic Room to evade them. It's at this point the burglars hunker down and update their status to full-blown robbers. What follows is an overnight game of cat and mouse, where the robbers try to get in, and the women try to force them out. As a film that takes place in a single location, Panic Room does check all of the necessary boxes in order to maintain the audience's attention. It's suspenseful, it's visually captivating, the plot is always upping the ante, and it moves at a steady pace. Added to which, for a film that takes place almost exclusively at night, Panic Room's dim lighting is stylistic, yet not at the sacrifice of what the audience can see. It maintains the mood of the film, and is shot in such a way we surprisingly never lose our sense of navigation in a house so big. Even with few set pieces to differentiate the rooms, the geography is not lost on us. The cast of Panic Room is a fascinating blend of people I wouldn't expect again. However, the characters of Panic Room themselves are an unusual mix. Burnham, played by Forrest Whitaker, is our primary villain from the top of the film, yet he's a sympathetic one. His motivations are cloaked in secrecy, but from what we can gather, they're selfless. Burnham is half in, half out, because he is the brains of the villains. Those brains are not exclusive to his technical prowess, they are also aware of the consequences.
You know we can't do this without you. This is still a good plan. You know, fuck that, this is a great plan. It's just got a slight twist.
Yeah. Felony kidnapping. 30 years.
Yeah! Fuck! Coming down to you!
Hey, I told you, I don't hurt people.
Jared Leto plays Junior, a character that by no means is the brains, but is more of the mouth. He's the one which orchestrates this burglary, and works as the go-between for our other 2 villains. Although I typically detest Leto in most roles, because they're usually obnoxiously weird for the sake of ego, I actually enjoy Leto here, and not just because his character is a dumbass.
What the hell are you doing? We're coming in from below.
No, you're not. Even if you got through the concrete, there's 3 inches of steel, you won't even make a dent. This is what I do. Okay, if some idiot with a sledgehammer could break in, do you really think that I would still have a job?
They're coughing?
Yeah, they're coughing. They're gonna die in there.
Nobody is gonna die, man. Will you please have the balls to follow through with something? Worst that's gonna happen is they'll pass out, they'll have a hangover.
How are we gonna get in there if they pass out, Junior?
Cut it back low.
Junior, when I asked you to cut the phone lines, did you cut the main line in the basement? Or did you just cut the cord on the phone in the kitchen?
Junior is an angsty guy, low on his rich family's totem pole, and I have to admit, Leto sells it perfectly. Our third villain is Raoul, played by Dwight Yoakam, and he's the icy muscle.
Nobody gets hurt.
What about us? What if she has a gun? Who are you?
I'm Raul.
Joachim gives a stellar performance because he's playing two Rauls. The first Raul is calm, collected, and allows himself to play second fiddle to Burnham and Jr.
That's 7 years bad luck.
Whereas the second Raul of the third act is unmasked physically and metaphorically and allows his emotions to run wild.
Holy shit! She called the goddamn cops. She killed the kid. She just killed her own kid.
Our heroes, Meg and Sarah, are played by Jodie Foster and a very young Kristen Stewart. I pair these two together because they're very much alike. Not only are they a team because they have to be, they're a team because they're equally supportive of one another. Each of them has their strengths and weaknesses, and the other is always willing and capable to step in if help is needed. They're both resourceful, which makes them worthy adversaries, regardless of being trapped and outnumbered by villains whose tactics grow more cunning over time.
No signal. I didn't knock up this line, but I hooked up the main line. If we can find it, we can cut into it. That Morse code?
SOS.
Where'd you learn that?
Titanic.
I suppose it's anyone's guess why Panic Room has been forgotten.
Just sometimes things, they don't work out the way you want them to.
Perhaps it's merely a case of its premise or components having been duplicated after the fact.
I was just thinking that we should do something like this.
Regardless the reason, Panic Room still holds up 20 years later. That quality over time is a testament to its craftsmanship. Coupled with its lack of public remembrance, perhaps the glass half full of Panic Room is that it's simply waiting to be discovered or rediscovered. Should its recognition continue to be lost to time, Panic Room will still be remembered by those of us who've always known and will never forget.